Hi, my name is Ike Darius. I'm a mortgage loan originator, a mortgage instructor, and a lifelong real estate investor. In this channel, I will show you how to build wealth using real estate with actually no money down. Yes, you can build wealth using real estate with no money down. Anyway, subscribe to this channel, like the page, turn on the bell so you can be notified whenever I'm on, and also visit my mortgage school, which is abmortgageschool.com. abmortgageschool.com. Thank you. Welcome again to my show. The last time we spoke about the different programs available for those of you who want to buy a house and who happen to have no money down. Now, I explained that there are many programs out there that you can use in order to qualify for a house, to buy a house with no money down. One of those programs that I explained earlier was the bond program. I don't know how they call it in your state. Probably have a different name for it, but I'm sure that all the states have a program for people who want to buy a home, and they can help them buying their first home. They probably give more or less than what my state is offering. My state is offering now $7,500. But now you say, okay, why don't many people take advantage of this? I mean, if free money is being given, why don't everybody participate in this? Well, there's a reason. There's a reason. Like I explained before, there's nothing for free in this country. First of all, if I'm talking about my state. In my state, if you buy the house, you're obligated to stay in that property as your primary residence for 5 years. Now, if you were to sell or refinance that house before 5 years, then you would have to return a portion of that money back to the state. Okay, that's one. And second, if you decide to participate in that program, you probably would pay a higher interest rate. Now, let's say right now, those of you who have good credit can probably get a 2.5% interest rate. Yeah, about a 2.5% interest rate you can get right now if you buy a house. I personally, as a mortgage professional here in Florida, as a mortgage broker, I have been able to give people 2.5% interest rate. All right, but the same program, because you participated in it and they're giving you $7,500, they will probably give you interest of 4%. Of 4%. Now, let's see how that works. I have my calculator here. Let's say if you were to buy a home for, let's say, $200,000. Okay, $200,000. That's the, well, let's call it the loan amount. Sales price could be higher. Loan amount is $200,000. And well, if you come to a broker like myself, and I don't do loan in all the states, but I do loans in Florida. I am licensed to do loans in Florida. Now, if you were here in Florida and I was the one doing the loan for you, and maybe your credit is good, I would probably be able to give you. It's not guaranteed, but I would probably be able to give you an interest rate. Let's say about 2.5% interest. Let's do it. 2.5% interest. Now, for 30 years, 30-year term, then let's see what the payment will be. I'm talking the payment without principal and interest. If you were to buy a home, if you were to come to me as a mortgage professional here in Florida as a mortgage broker, I work for Angel Mortgage Services. I own it. My wife owns it. Let me tell you also, I own a mortgage school. Please, if you are interested in becoming a mortgage professional as well, I can make that happen for you. Go to my website, abmortgageschool.com. abmortgageschool.com. That's my company. And if any state, anywhere that you live in the United States, you can get the license. Right now, because of COVID, I do not offer the classes in person. It's only offered online. So you can live in any of those states, any of the 50 states. You can get a license through my company. It's called Angel Bell Mortgage School, and the website is abmortgageschool.com. Anyway, if you want to buy a house, right, the regular way, with no help from the government, and I would probably, not guaranteed, probably be able to give you interest at 2.5%, and the loan amount would be about $200,000 for 30 years. Now the APR would be a little bit higher than that. Now let me see how much your payment would be. That would be principal and interest, right? Principal and interest on a home like that would be $790.24. Let me reiterate. If you buy a house the regular way, without any help from anybody, right now, if your credit is good, probably, it's not guaranteed, but probably you would get an interest rate of 2.5%. Let's say if you get the 2.5% interest rate for 30 years and loan amount of $200,000, your principal and interest would be $790.24. But let's say the same house, right? But of course, you would have to come up with your down payment. I will explain to you how much do you need actually to buy a house if you were to come up with the money yourself to buy the house. But if you were to get the $7,500 from the government, they will give you a higher interest rate. Right now, if you were to get a loan like that, where you would get the $7,500 from the government, your interest rate would probably be in the fours. Let's say 4.25, right? 4.25. So it's the same loan. It's not that they are charging you. It's not that they're charging you a higher interest rate on the amount that they gave you. I'm talking about the $7,500. No, you are charged on the entire loan, the entire $200,000. They charge on the entire loan. So that would cost you, let's see, if I were to change this interest rate to 4.25 interest rate. Remember, it was $790.24 at a 2.5 interest rate. Now it's changed to a 4.25 because you're getting that money and they're helping you with this, so you don't have to come up with it from your pocket. But because of that, they're charging you a higher interest rate. Let's see how much your payment will be. Let's see. Principal interest, $983. $983. This is minus 790.4. So that's actually $193.64. $193.64. That's how much extra you would be paying a month for the next 30 years or whatever amount of time you want to keep that house. You see? Yeah, you can get the money, you can get the funds from them, but they charge you for the entire loan of a 2% interest rate, which is an amount of almost $200 extra a month, just because they give you $7,500. You see? So is it worth it? I don't know. It's up to you. But I just explained it to you. Maybe if you were thinking of getting it, maybe you probably think twice. But if you have the necessity, if it's that important, you have to have the house, why not? Just get it. But I don't have the funds. I've been working all my life. I'm in my 30s, my 40s, and my 50s. I never had a chance to own a house. And this is my only chance to get the house. then what are you telling me? What are you telling me? Shouldn't I get the house? Shouldn't I get the $7,500 from the government so I can get my first home? You're telling me no, not to get it? Of course not. I'm not telling you, but I'm telling you what it would cost you if you were to get that house and you using that $7,500 they are giving you. But what's the alternative? What can I do? What can I do that's cheaper than not getting this? Well, this is what I do. Personally, this is what I do. If I know I'm getting, my client is getting, need money, right? My clients need money, need cash to close. Maybe they have the down payment. Let's say FHA, For FHA, the minimum down payment is 3.5%. So it's 3.5%, and if it's 3.5% on a $200,000 loan, the money that I would, the down payment would be $7,000, right? Will be $7,000. That's how much the person would need for the down payment. But the person managed to have the down payment. If you manage to have the down payment of $7,000, you still need another $7,000, right? Because it's 3.5% of. Oh no, sorry, I'm sorry. If it's $200,000, you would need $7,000 as down payment. So that's your cash. But remember, when you buy a house, you need closing costs. It's not just the down payment. The down payment is 3.5% that is required by FHA in order for you to buy the house. But there is always closing costs. Don't listen to people that are telling you what there won't be any closing costs. There's always closing costs. You may not be the one paying for it. The money might come from someplace else, which I will explain to you if you follow me. If you subscribe to this channel, I will explain all those things to you. But you always pay money. It may not come from you, it comes from somewhere, but there is always closing costs when you're buying a home. You don't just need the down payment, you need the closing costs. But let's say you happen to have the 3.5%, the down payment, which is $7,000 on a $200,000 loan, but you still need the closing costs. The closing costs are estimated. My estimation, don't take my word for it, but this is my rule of thumb. The rule of thumb for myself, if your credit is decent and you're buying an FHA loan in the area where I live here, I'm not saying any place else, because taxes and insurance make a big difference depending on where you live. The tax could be very much higher than it is where I live, or lower. So it all depends. But where I live here in Orlando, I have tested it many times. It shows that if you're buying a home here and your credit is decent and you go on FHA, if you buy the house for $200,000, you need 7% of that. You need 7% of the sales price in order to buy the house. Let me repeat that. If you buy a house here in Orlando, I'm not saying the other cities because I don't know the cost in the other cities. Some cities are higher. Let's say Miami, I know the insurance is higher there. The taxes could be higher there. It may differ. But here I have tested it. If you buy a home for $200,000, you need the 3.5% as down payment using FHA loans, and then you will also need another 3.5% for closing costs. In some states, in some cities, it's higher. Sometimes for you buying an FHA loan, and the closing cost is higher even than the down payment. So don't take my word for it. Don't say Ike says I only need 7% wherever I am in the country. I'm buying a house. If I'm buying a house for $100,000 and I need $7,000 to buy the house, if I'm buying it for $200,000, I need $14,000 to buy the house. No, I'm just telling you where I live here in Orlando. If you are buying a house for $200,000 or whatever price you're buying it, you need 7.7%. But you happen to only have the down payment, which FHA requires it. the down payment, which is the 3.5%, has to come from you. But you might need to save it, but you don't have the rest. And you're thinking about getting a bond program or getting into some other program, but you think you're educated. You say, oh my God, I'm gonna be paying way more than I'm supposed to be paying in interest rate, and that will be for a long time. As long as I own the house, I can't even rent it out. I can't even sell it. If I do any of those things, I have to return some money. So you may decide not to go that way. But what else can I do? I'm buying a house. What else can I do? What I do with my clients, and I said, okay, you have the down payment for the 3.5%. You have that. You manage to save that. You have it. Okay. Then what can I do? I negotiate with the seller. You can get seller contribution for you. If you're using FHA loan, you can get up to 6% contribution from the seller who's selling you the home. Now the market, you probably say, well, the market is hot right now. Sellers are not giving any money. They're not helping anyone, because that's the way it is now. If you put the house in the market today, the seller has like 4, 5, 6 contracts. Because of this competition, sellers are not willing to give anything. But I still fight. I mean, I try this seller. They don't want, I go to the next one. I tell my realtors, go to the next one, try the next one. Because I know the buyer already told me they only have the down payment, they need the closing costs. So what I do, I said, you asking $200,000 for your house, okay? And my buyer needs some money, some cash. Well, I'm giving you for $95,000 for it. My offer is $95,000. We discuss it with the seller, with the buyer, and we say, our offer is $95,000, is $195,000. If the offer is $195,000, that means they give a discount of $5,000. Usually you get that, because really, if they put the house in the market for $200,000, most of the time they don't expect to sell the house for $200,000. They expect to bargain a little bit to bring it up to $95,000. Now you try your best to get it to $90,000. And then probably raise it to $190,000, and probably raise it to $195,000 and get that $5,000 back to help with the closing costs. But sometimes you can't. You fight, you couldn't get it, but you say they settle for $195,000. So especially when the market is hot. But if it's hot like that, they want to give it to you for $195,000. This is what I do. I said, you know what? I speak to that's what I used to do when I used to show home. But right now I work with a bunch of realtors that I'm teaching how to do this, and they know, they're very professional. They know, they always get seller contributions, really. And then they said to the seller, they listen, look, you agree that you will sell this house for me for $195,000, but this is what I'll do. I'll give you the full price for it. I'll give you full price, the $200,000, but you giving me back $5,000. You see, the seller's asking, the asking price is $200,000. You tried to get it for $90,000, you couldn't get it, and they said they probably would give it for $195,000, and not $90,000, $190,000 for $195,000. $195,000, but still that doesn't give you the $5,000 that you need. What you do, you bring it back to $200,000, and you ask the seller to give you back $5,000. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. The seller gets to sell the house to a qualified buyer, and you get to get your $5,000, because it took you so long to save only $7,500, which is the down payment, the required down payment of 3.5%. You see, now you get $5,000 in one shot to help you with the closing costs. But you say, I have you said I need 7%. 7% of $200,000 is $14,000. Now I have my 3.5%, which is $7,000. Now the seller's giving me $5,000 now, right? The seller's giving me $5,000. The seller's giving me $5,000. I'm still short of $2,000. Where am I gonna get that? Well, there you go again. If you have good credit, there is what you call lender credit, meaning that I, as a mortgage professional, can get you some lender credit, meaning the $200,000, the $2,000 that you need. See, the seller gives you 5,000, and you can get a lender credit for 2,000. That's the $7,000 you needed. You had 5,000 that you managed to save. Seller give you 5, the lender give you 2. Ready to go. Okay, but now you made me buy the house. You made me buy the house for $200,000. Now my mortgage will be much higher. Okay, let me see. You 30, 40, 50 years old, and it was hard for you to save a lot of money. You only managed to save the down payment, right? Now, how much longer it will take you to save an extra $5,000? Probably forever. Maybe if it's next year, the same amount of money you have now. If you like me, if you come from a different country like myself, who come from Haiti, who have people calling me all the time, can you please send some money for me? You have responsibilities overseas. You hear that I have my parents, my mom, my dad, they're all in Haiti. Something happened there, or they're sick, they need money. I have to dig into my saving and send to them. So maybe by the time I wait, instead of increasing my money, the down payment is probably be gone by then. So if I can find a way to get my house now, maybe I'll pay a little bit more. Definitely, I will show you the difference. Maybe I'll pay a little bit more, but actually, I have the house I need. The seller gets to sell the house. I get my house, $5,000. Then they give me 2. I'm good to go. But how much it gonna cost me? How much more it's going to cost me? You told me if I got the down payment assistance from the state, and they will charge me a high interest rate on the entire loan, and I will be paying $193 extra. Then what about you made me buy this house for $5,000 more? You made me get that house for full price. Now, how much it's gonna cost me? Let's see the difference. All right, now it's the same $200,000, right? And then you still get the same interest rate, right? The same interest rate. Let me see if it was 195,000 is the loan amount, right? The amount is 2.5% interest rate. Payment is $790. You see? Let's say if you were to buy the house for $195, right? And then if you were to finance, remember, this is not. I'm not doing this the right way. I'm not putting the down payment, all these things. I'm just trying to show you what can happen. I'm just trying to give you an example and show the difference between you negotiating with the seller and also get contribution from the state, whereby you're gonna pay a high interest rate. What's the difference? Okay. So it's $195. If the loan amount was $195, then the payment would be $770. But if you were to finance to $200,000, that's it. If it's $200, because remember the seller is giving you $5,000, so you have to add it to the $195. Now you're financing at that $200,000. Oh, let's see, $200,000 loan amount, payment. It's actually $790. So it comes from $770. If you were to buy the house at $195, the payment would be $7. If you were to finance $195, the payment would have been $770. Now, because you got that $5,000, now you're financing a little bit more, which is $200,000. Now the payment is only $790. That means you're paying $20 extra. I'd pay $20 extra any day, and get $5,000. Instead of paying $193. extra every month and to only get 7,500. I don't know. So yeah, there are some tricks. And there's always this alternative. If you are not getting enough money and from the state, let's say in this case here, it's only 7,500, and you end up paying an interest rate more than 2% extra, maybe your best bet is to negotiate with the seller and see how much you can get there, and then also negotiate with your lender. Even if they have to raise the interest rate a little bit in order for you to get that $2,000, it's still worth it. At least you buy a house now. If you have to wait for next year, you don't know what the interest rate will be next year. You don't know how the same house you were buying this year for a certain price, you don't know how much it's gonna be next year. I know for a fact here in Orlando, if you bought a house last year for $250, right now it's $270. It's $270, $275. That's an extra $25,000. That goes on top of it. So you'll be financing way more. That means you will need way more in order to buy. Anyway, this is the show for today. I just thought I would explain to you the difference between you getting some different help in what it costs you and what's the alternative. What else can you do to get the loan? And in the next shows, I will explain everything, all the other programs. Today was the bond. Next time I will explain the county, city, USDA, VA, and all the type of loans that exist. And I will also, just follow me. Just follow me. There was so many things I will teach you. I will teach you how to prepare for how to clean your credit, how to how much money you need when you everything. I'm telling you, just follow me. By the time you're done with me, you will be a professional just like me. You will be able to pre-qualify yourself. When you're talking to your realtor, they will think, "Oh my God, this guy knows so much." Well, that's the idea. I want to make sure that you know. Anyway, like my page and smash the subscribe button, and whenever I'm on, so that you can know. Okay? And it was a pleasure. See you again next time. Bye bye.